Welcome
Welcome.
to our TED Talk.
Today we're gonna be. Wait, how do the typical TED Talks go?
We did a TED Talk.
We're not typical. Imagine everything you thought you knew about the Earth. Now reimagine it.
That is what they
This is
do.
really bad.
That is what they do. How did our TED Talk start?
Hi, my name's Cole.
No, you weren't even that nervous. You weren't.
What do you mean? I'm pretty sure I almost threw up before.
Yeah, but when you got on stage, it was like seamless. Welcome to our TED Talk. Today we're going to talk about 5 love languages.
Yeah, and we didn't come up with the love languages. A man named Gary Chapman did.
Gary Chapman.
Mr. Dr. Gary Chapman.
We wanted to talk about this today because we have seen comments over the years and years and years of doing YouTube suggesting that I don't love on Cole enough and I don't show him enough affection and attention physically. And after posting our lovely assistant, there were a few more comments, not many, about Cole's lack of physical connection, that he's going to long for it from somebody else. And so we thought we'd chat about love languages because I think that people kind of forget that they exist.
Yeah, they do. Well, everybody just assumes that everybody else only has their love language, I feel like. Mm-hmm. Which is one of the biggest learning curves coming into a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
For me was like understanding that she loves in different ways that I love. Mm-hmm. So when I was like groping her all the time.
Groping?
With my physical touch. Because I figured that's how she thought that, or how I figured she'd wanted to be loved because that's how I like to be loved. Mm-hmm. That I needed to learn, like, she probably doesn't want to be groped all the time.
Oh my gosh. I don't think anyone wants to be groped all the time, but
Intimately touched.
No, we just thought it'd be cool to talk about our love languages just because they are very different from each other. And it was something that we had to learn when starting to date each other because our love languages are very different. But we had conversations about love languages and how I wanted to be loved and how he wanted to be loved and how we can come and like balance that out. But anyone who has been here since the beginning of our channel knows how much like PDA is just not my thing. And so especially at the beginning of our channel, I got so many comments like,
Charisma, like touch him more. Cole like is clearly wanting you to touch him and you're just pushing him away all the time.
Yeah, because I have no qualms about PDA. And so again, another learning curve for me was understanding that your partner might care more about those things than you do and understanding that and empathizing with that. Mm-hmm. And so now when we're in public, I'm not trying to
yes, you are.
do all the things
yes,
that
you are.
You still think I am?
Yes, you are.
As bad as in the beginning?
No, well, the thing is, in the beginning of our relationship, it was something that I wasn't as, open to, and I think now that we've been together for so long, now it's,
We met in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow, the compromise.
I think we hold hands in public, we kiss in public, I, will sit on your lap and cuddle you in public, and people walk by and they're like, oh, my
That's
heart.
True. They love to smile at us.
They do, and so I feel like it's different now, but at the beginning of our relationship, it was definitely more challenging for me.
Yeah.
Wait, we should have taken the test again.
Yeah, I think we should have, but we've also talked about how we've changed with our love languages.
Yeah.
And so at the beginning of our relationship.
Yeah, what were your 2 love languages at the beginning?
Well, for those who aren't familiar, let's say what the 5 love languages are real quick.
Yeah.
So words of affirmation. People with words of affirmation as a love language value verbal acknowledgments of affection, including frequent I love yous, compliments, words of appreciation, verbal encouragement. They just want to hear the love.
Yeah, hear the love. Quality time is the second one. This one says, people whose love language is quality time feel the most adored when their partner actively wants to spend time with them and is always down to hang out. They particularly love when active listening, eye contact, and full presence are prioritized hallmarks in the relationship.
Yeah. And then we got acts of service. If your love language is acts of service, you value when your partner goes out of their way to make your life easier. It's things like bringing you soup when you're sick, making you coffee in the morning, or picking up your dry cleaning for you when you've had a busy day at work.
The way you read that. The 4th love language is gifts. Gifts is a pretty straightforward love language. You feel love when people give you visual symbols of love. It's not about monetary value, but the symbolic thoughts behind them.
And then finally, lastly, we have physical touch.
Physical touch. Alright.
People with physical touch as their love language feel loved when they receive physical signs of affection, including kissing, holding hands, cuddling on the couch, and sex, primarily in public in front of other people where they can see it.
That is not, I did not say that. I was like looking at it, what?
So there you go. Those are the 5.
Those are the 5 love languages.
So let's talk about where we were when we started our relationship in
Yeah.
terms of love languages and where we are now.
Yeah.
And I'm going to choose 2, a primary and a secondary.
Well, that's how it usually is. You kind of have to. Yeah.
So it's definitely physical touch.
Was your primary love language? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted my hands on you. I wanted your hands on me. And that's where I felt the love.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then your second?
And then second would be quality time.
Yeah.
That's just always important to me. I like just spending time around people I love and who love me. And I'm hanging out with you because I love you.
Yeah.
And it's like an unsaid like testament to caring for this person. Mm-hmm. Where were you?
See, it's hard because I feel like I had 3
Okay.
when we first started.
Give it in like ranks. Probably.
No, I'm gonna just do 2 that I think.
Okay.
I think my absolute top when I first met was words of affirmation. And Cole knew that. I was like, I just want like a cute text from you to say how much you love me or like how much you appreciate this. So words of affirmation was really big in the beginning of our relationship.
You read me that text the other day. That was pretty good words for you.
Yeah, it's pretty corny.
From the early days.
It was cute. I loved it.
I used to be so corny, man.
It was cute. I married you. I love that. I loved everything about it. And then my second love language, I think at the beginning of our relationship, was gifts. I think it was, and I feel like I remember talking about this. And it wasn't like, again, this says like not monetary gifts, but I would always tell Cole, like if you just like had like a little, like if you just wrote me a card one day that was from you, like that's really thoughtful, like a thoughtful gift like that, or you made me something. And I remember saying that, which is why on our first year anniversary, you made me this huge picture frame thing that I have never hung.
Yeah.
It's in our garage.
I worked so hard on that.
I know you did. It was just,
Not really.
It's such a big gift that if
Yeah.
it were a little smaller, it's literally a window, guys.
We got plenty of walls in here though. I know, it's an old window that like was taken off of like an old building or something, and then we put like picture frames in it so it looks real rustic and cool.
It's really cool, but it's just like really difficult to hang because it's a window.
It's very large. It is very large and heavy.
But again, it was like what I liked at the beginning of our relationship. It was a very thoughtful gift.
Okay, so now, do you think you changed?
100%.
Okay, so you
After
wanna go
being
first?
almost 3 years married together with you for 6 years, I think that we both have changed. But now, I think my love languages are actually different. So I think my number 1 love language right now is acts of service. I think it is up there, like that's what I crave, that's what I want all the time. And my second, I still think is gifts.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'm stuck between gifts and quality time though.
How close are they?
Very close.
Very close?
Because you hear me talk about like, oh my gosh, like Cole just like give me some flowers every once in a while or like.
Yeah, and I know because you get like those kind of gifts for your friends, so that's how you like to show love. Still.
Wait, we'll get to showing love because that's still different. Showing how you want to receive love and how you show love is still can be very different.
True. Yeah.
Anyway, maybe my number 2 is quality time then. Acts of service and quality time.
I think quality time is just such a good one because it's like that's such an ever-present thing. Because you're gonna spend a lot of time with someone. So if quality time is a love language of yours, I think that's really a strong foundation. Well, tell me more about the acts of service piece though. Before we move on.
Like why it's my number 1 now? Well, I think because of the dynamic of our relationship, I really, really appreciate when Cole does things for me. He can do a lot for me, but there's some things that he can't do. And so because of that, I think I have grown to truly appreciate the things that he does for me, so that acts of service has just become the way that I want to be loved, especially by Cole. I don't think acts of service from everyone is necessarily my love language, but specifically from Cole, like that really makes me feel loved by him. So him simply doing the laundry. I remember seeing a comment like, why does Cole do the laundry? That just seems like so unnecessary to take him forever. that's not the point. The point is that he's doing it for me, and that makes me feel so loved. Cole, picking up the trash and throwing it away from me, those kind of things. So I think because of the dynamic of our relationship, that's why that has shifted to become my number one.
And I've seen that too. And I think that there was some growth with me because the dynamic, like when I was living with my family, was there's always other hands around to do simple tasks that might take me more time. Mm-hmm. But when it's just us two living together, that's not the case. And I know that you appreciate, even though it might take me longer.
Yeah.
Me doing it, because that's showing you love.
Yeah, I think for your parents,
it's more about love than me doing the task, I feel like.
Yes.
Sometimes.
It makes me feel loved. And I think that's the difference between your parents and me. Like for them, it's like, oh, like it'll be much faster for them to do it because they don't necessarily have to feel that kind of love from you. But as a wife, that feels good.
When I'm in the middle of doing laundry,
yeah,
and I'm folding the towels and it's taking me forever, I'm not thinking to myself like, I'm glad the laundry's getting done. I'm thinking to myself, I'm glad this is making Charisma feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this so the laundry gets done. I'm doing this for Charisma.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. It makes me feel good.
So mine have changed as well.
Mm-hmm.
I would not put physical touch at number one.
Really?
No.
Interesting.
I would put quality time at number one.
Okay.
Again, I just want to spend time. And I think we're so blessed to be in a relationship where we get to spend so much time together too. Because like her leaving for New York, oh my gosh. My body was like, well, what's happening? This is not okay. Bring her back. Yeah. That was pretty wild. I think that was like such a strong physical reaction showing me how important that time is. Mm-hmm. Because my body reacted even before my head did.
Yeah.
It was wild. And number two...
A little codependency, though, that we should probably work on.
Probably. Too much quality time.
Yeah. There's a balance.
No, I ended up surviving, which was good. But number two, I think, would be words of affirmation.
That's your number two now?
I think so.
What?
Yeah.
You not even physical touch anymore?
That's like a close three.
Wow. That's so interesting.
I don't know how that happens, but I don't know. I want to hear it.
Well, and then maybe because you feel like that's lacking, sometimes your love languages, like, I feel like change, like because you want that more from someone. And I think when I first started dating Cole, I would give him so many words of affirmation because that's how I loved him. I was constantly like, I love you, you make me feel special, this, and I was always giving him words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. But then I realized that back then he wanted to be touched. That was how he wanted to be loved. So I worked on being more touchy, being more affectionate with him. And now that's like, I'm so affectionate with Cole. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a very affectionate person. Like, I still won't meet a stranger and like give them a hug unless they ask for it. But I'll either put out my hand to shake it or just be like, hi, from a distance. But I won't hug a stranger.
Yeah.
So if you ever meet us in public, I'm fine hugging you. You just will have to ask for it because I'm not gonna offer it.
She's not I'm a hugger, are you?
Cole is a hugger.
I'll hug everybody.
So I think because I felt like that's how you wanted to be loved, I stopped doing the words of affirmation as much and I started doing more of the physical touch. And now it's like, wait, I want more words of affirmation.
Yeah. Well, I imagine that ebb and flow is gonna exist throughout our whole relationship. I mean, we'll always have the quality time there, which is good. But the other things, we'll figure out. Because I'm sure once the baby comes around and you're always holding the baby and touching on the baby, you're not going to want to touch me as much, and then I'm going to be craving that physical touch again.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. So I was talking to Sloan and Matt, who was in our video not too long ago. And Sloan is very similar to me. We're like not huge on physical touch, and sometimes touch can really overwhelm us. And she was saying after having her son, how that's something that she realized is that she would get touched by her son so much all day long, and that at the end of the day with Matt, like, it was like, whoa, like, there's a lot of touch here, like, it just like became overwhelming. And so she noticed that like touching like this was kind of bothering her, but like being held and hugged felt better, so that more solid touch. So it was interesting hearing that from her, because that's something that we're going to have to think about, because I think I would get overwhelmed by touch after, like, once we have a baby. I think that it would be a challenge.
And then I'm going to start craving.
Yeah. So any of you all who, like, are super big into physical touch and have children, I'm curious, like, how that was for you.
Yeah, let us know. And I would be curious just to hear from couples who've been together a really long time how you feel your love languages have changed over the years. It's just all about what's happening in your life and what you've had and what you haven't had, and then communicating that to your partner so they know too.
Yeah, I think
I don't think I even realized really until just now about, you know, how much words of affirmation I've been wanting those words.
Yeah.
Not saying that you don't give me those words.
No, I don't think I give it to you as much as I did in the past, though. Like, I agree. I don't think I really... Sometimes I have my moments where I'm like, oh, I love you so much. And, like, every morning I'm like, I love you. But, like, truly telling you, like, what makes me happy and how you make me feel, I don't think I do that with words. I think it's all action from me. Yeah, because I'm like, this is what Cole wants. He wants me to just touch him and jump on him and, like... And so that's what I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll
Don't
work
stop that either, though.
Do both. So just do all of the love languages. Love me in every way possible.
All of them.
Okay, well, I'm curious though, how do you love? And not just me, just like people in general. Like, how do you think you show love to people?
Well, quality time, like, I think that is showing love. So, like, sometimes you have to remind me that we need to go out on dates and, like, do that kind of stuff because that's important to you. When sitting at home and playing games with you or just watching a movie with you is like that for me. I don't know. With, like, friends and family, like, I just try to be engaged when I'm with them and, like...
So quality time.
I think quality time is just my thing.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's how you show love.
Yeah, and then in our relationship, I think I'm trying to show love through acts of service as much as I can.
Yeah. Because you know that, like, is, like, my thing.
Yeah. I used to focus really hard on words of affirmation, and it seems like that's not really what you're looking for from me anymore.
Not lately.
As much.
Not
you want
lately.
those acts.
Yeah, not lately. It's interesting because, like, the other day, like, I was frustrated and Cole was, like, trying to, like, boost me up and, like, give me all these words of affirmation. And I was like, I just don't want that right now. Because, like, it just, like, I don't know, I wasn't feeling that. And so to tell someone... you're amazing in a moment where I didn't feel amazing, it bothered me. Which is weird.
So next time I'm gonna be like, you suck.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the worst.
And then it's like gonna confirm how I feel. No, I feel like I've grown away from the words of affirmation. Because I think I'm able to give myself those words that I don't necessarily need it from you right now. And what I need from you is acts of service.
Inner strength is a beautiful thing too.
Yeah.
That's great. Mm-hmm. So what about you? How do you think you show love to friends?
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Gifts.
It's the gifts. She's good at gifts.
I am a gift giver.
Yeah.
Like, that's, if I give you something, if I make you something, if I do something for you, like, that's how you know I freaking love you. Like, seriously, like.
And if you don't get anything, then now you know.
No, that's not true. I think it takes time for me to grow that for someone. And then some people, it just, like, I just love them very fast and easily. And so I'm, like, constantly, like, doing things for them. And so with Cole, like, gift giving, I always, like, that was just always our thing. Although I don't think I do much gift giving for you nowadays.
No, you always struggle with my gifts because you never know what to give me.
Yeah, you're really hard. I sometimes wish Cole was, like, a girl because I could just, like get you, like, chocolates and flowers. Although I'm sure you would love that.
I'll pass on the flowers. I mean, chocolate sounds good.
Yeah. I feel like with my friends, I'm definitely a big gift giver. Like, my two friends, like, one of my gifts for them for their birthdays was just flying them out here and, like, taking them on fun adventures throughout LA. And that was, like, my way of showing love. And so that's how I show love. I think I used to show love with words of affirmation, but I don't think I do it as much.
So we both show love in different ways, that's for sure.
So do you feel like, because a big concern from our YouTube channel is that the physical, like, touch is lacking in our relationship mostly because I don't show it on camera, on TV.
Yeah. I can assure you the physical touch is not lacking. There's plenty of that. Mm-hmm. Whether you initiate it or I initiate it, I think we're both cognizant of how important touch is in a relationship.
Yeah, I think it's the camera. I think people just only see what we show them in front of the camera, but, like, I'm not going to sit here and, like, make out with Cole either. On camera, because that's just not me and it's weird.
That's a different kind of account that we're probably not going to make.
No, we don't have an OF, guys. I think that's where the disconnect is. Like, people are just seeing what they see on camera and forgetting that behind closed doors things are different. And there are moments, especially after dinner, every night after dinner, I, like, get on Cole's lap and just we hug for a good minute, and then eventually Sophie gets annoyed and is like, all right, y'all can't do this without me, so she jumps in and she has to go too.
Every time she has to, and she just stares at us until we let her come over.
Yeah. And she's like, wagging her tail, like, can I join the hug now? I know you don't want your moment. Oh, she's sleeping.
Oh,
she's always sleeping every time. I think maybe our filming voices like soothes her or something.
But when we are not loving each other and we're arguing, then Sophie runs outside now. The other morning, I was like, Sophie, where are you? Where are you? After we had like gotten into it a little bit, and I look outside and she's as far away in the yard as she can be. She just went out the doggy door. She's like, I'm leaving, guys.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to be around y'all unless you're hugging and kissing. We do have our arguments too. I think that sometimes, like, because we only share the positive, not we only share the positive, but it's easier to share the positive, and plus our channel, we want it to be a light and uplifting to people, so there's often times where we don't show the darker side.
We're not like a drama channel.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that there's not drama.
Yeah, we have drama. We argue, we fight. I mean, especially like going through infertility and going through fertility treatments. This has probably been the most challenging year. Cole has had to learn a lot of patience with me. I've had to learn a lot of patience and forgiveness with myself too, because with these hormones, like, sometimes I just like get so emotional and I'm like, what is happening? And then like later on the day I'm like, honestly, I don't know why I made that such a big deal. It was so dumb, but like in that moment I was just so overwhelmed with all these, like giving myself shots, multiple shots a day. So this year's been really challenging. Like you've had to be very patient with me and giving me grace, which I appreciate, because
I think that might be where the words of affirmation shift came from.
Starting fertility.
Yeah. Just getting very testy with each other, and then it feels so good to just hear, I love you.
Yeah. We do get tested with each other. Well, it's just hard because like you're like, why are you like this? But then like you have to remember it's not coming from a place of malice. It's just coming from a place of my hormones are all over the freaking place right now. Yeah. I'm giving myself estrogen, progesterone. I'm crampy. Like it's really hard. IVF is really hard, and it's hard for both couples. But it's an emotional roller coaster. So
we're riding it together.
And we're loving each other how we want to be loved through it all.
Yes. So that's our love language journey over the years. I'm curious to hear about y'all's, if you've been in a long relationship, and why they are what they are now. Yeah. And versus what they were then.
If they've changed. They may not have changed. Some people may have the same love languages.
But if they've changed, I want to know why. I'm curious.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for watching.
Yes, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay positive. Bye. There's my heart. You're my heart.
Aww,
you're my heart. Okay, bye.